This is Valley News Live at noon.
We had a stormy start to our Tuesday, and we're in for more storms this afternoon. So let's go straight away to Summer Schnellbach with a quick look at our weather and what we should expect later today. Summer.
Thanks, JC. Yeah, it was a rough and loud start to our Tuesday for some folks. Check out this monster hail, around 3 inches in diameter. That's baseball size hail in Forbes, North Dakota. Wow, thank you so much to Aaron Henning for sending that one in. Hopefully no one was injured with that large hail. So I want to do a loop of the overnight storms that first moved in from the south and west, and then the second round that raced through this early morning. Now they're all up to the north, although we are seeing a couple of storms trying to redevelop in northern North Dakota, and we're going to be watching for additional storms to redevelop. But these storms have also brought a lot of rain over the last 24 hours. This is a radar estimate of some areas receiving more than 2 inches of rain. One bullseye here just to the north of Carrington. Radar's estimating 4 inches of rain. Haven't seen any reports yet that high, but there have been some reports of 2.65 inches of rain in Jamestown. South Carrington, 2.23 inches. Harvey, 2.17 inches. In Carrington, 1.85, and just over 1.5 inches of rain in Eldridge. Temperatures are cooler up to the north right now. Still seeing some of that rain-cooled air with some mid and upper 60s, low to mid 70s, but the heat is back on in parts of Minnesota right now. We're seeing 88 in Fergus Falls, 83 in Sisseton, at 78 right now in Fargo. This heat will be building in. It's going to add some more instability, but the one question, JC, is whether or not we're going to see a cap this afternoon, meaning a warm air layer in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It might be too hot to storm up in that upper level, but if it breaks, we're in for more severe weather this afternoon. I'll have more details on what you might expect coming up in a little bit.
All right, we'll check back with you in just a little bit. Thank you, Summer. New at noon, a Fergus Falls man is facing charges after police say he threatened a mass shooting and had several guns at his home. Court records say this past Friday, police were tipped off about 32-year-old Daniel Jennings threatening a mass shooting through an online video game. When authorities raided his home, records show they found several guns and a hit list with people's names and addresses. Jennings is now facing multiple felony charges, including possession of a firearm and terroristic threats. He was previously convicted of first-degree burglary. Several businesses have significant damage after an early morning fire tore through an office complex in South Fargo. Fire crews rushed to the 4100 block of 30th Avenue South just after 1 this morning. When they arrived on scene, flames were shooting from the roof. They raised the call to a second alarm for additional backup. Firefighters used 2 ladder trucks to combat the flames and spent more than 5 hours putting out hot spots and investigating the cause. No injuries were reported, and estimated damages have not been released. It's primary election day in North Dakota, and voters are heading to the polls to decide local and state races. Among the local races are Fargo Mayor, Fargo City Commission, Fargo School Board, and Cass County Sheriff. Some state legislative posts are on the ballot, and as are U.S. Senator and U.S. House of Representatives. And happening right now, people are lining up at the Fargo Dome to cast their votes. That's where we find Valley News Team's Jillian Trudeau. Jillian, how is it looking at the Fargo Dome?
Something I can help you with?
Thanks, JC. I'm here at the Fargo Dome to look at the lunchtime voter turnout. Crowds over the hour have been fluctuating, but it's remained pretty steady. I talked with the election inspector, Ron Anderson, who said the busiest times are usually in the morning before work, that lunchtime break, and the evenings after work. But he was surprised on that smaller evening crowd that he saw during the early elections this year. So he encourages everyone to get out and vote today. I'm Jillian Trudeau, and I'll be back in the crowds at 4 tonight.
Thank you, Jillian. She's reporting at the Fargo Dome, one of the many locations you can vote in Fargo. Now, we want to give you an in-depth look at who wants to run North Dakota's largest city. 7 people are running to be the next mayor of Fargo, including current mayor Tim Mahoney. Now let's look at the candidates that are up against him. Tim Mahoney has been mayor of Fargo since 2015, and before that, he served on city commission for 10 years. So he's trying to keep his seat against these candidates and 3 more, which we'll touch on in just a bit. Now, Dustin Elliott pitches himself as the candidate that can bring healing in these hard times. Sherry First Show's website says she's the God First candidate, and second, a stay-at-home mom. And Arlette Preston, a current city commissioner, now wants to lead the city. The final 3 candidates include Hukan Dabar. His website describes him as a committed community leader who's also a small business owner. Another candidate, Michael Borgi. He says he wants to prioritize public safety. His website says he has a 45-plus year history in the hospitality industry. And the final candidate on the ballot is Shannon Rowers Jones. She was elected in 2016 as a Republican to the North Dakota legislature. She also works for her family business, Rowers Construction. A question you're going to see on the ballot if you're voting in Fargo is term limits. Measure 1 will ask if city commissioners should only be allowed to serve 3 4-year terms or 12 years in total. And if you want to be the mayor and a city commissioner, you can only serve 4 4-year terms or 16 years total. If you vote yes, you approve of these term limits. Coming up at noon, with an extreme heat heading our way, we've got some tips on how to keep your cool. And with a stormy start to this Tuesday, we've got what you can expect for the rest of the day. Summer Schnellbach is coming up next.